The day was so charming. Didn't he agree? And wouldn't he? Perhaps? But he shook his head, lighted a cigarette, slowly breathed a great deep puff into her face, and even while she was still talking and laughing, flicked the match away and walked on. The ermine talk was alone. She smiled more brightly than ever. But even the band seemed to know what she was feeling and played more softly, played tenderly, and the drum beat, "The brute! The brute!" over and over. What would she do? What was going to happen now? But as Miss Brill wondered, the ermine talk turned, raised her hand, as though she'd seen someone else much nicer just over there, and pattered away. And the band changed again and played more quickly, more gaily than ever, and the old couple on Miss Brill's seat got up and marched away, and such a funny old man with long whiskers hobbled along in time to the music, and was nearly knocked over by the four girls walking abreast. Oh, how fascinating it was! How she enjoyed it! How she loved sitting here, watching it all! It was like a play. It was exactly like a play. Who could believe the sky at the back wasn't painted? But it wasn't till a little brown dog trotted on solemn and then slowly trotted off like a little theater dog. A little dog that had been drugged, that Miss Brill discovered what it was that made it so exciting. They were all on the stage. They weren't only the audience, not only looking on, they were acting. Even she had a part and came every Sunday. No doubt, somebody would have noticed if she hadn't been there. She was part of the performance after all. How strange, she'd never thought of it like that before. And yet it explained why she made such a point of starting from home at just the same time each week, so as not to be late for the performance. And it also explained why she had quite a queer, shy feeling at telling her English pupils how she spent her Sunday afternoons. No wonder. Miss Brill nearly laughed out loud. She was on the stage. She thought of the old invalid gentleman to whom she read the newspaper 4 afternoons a week while he slept in the garden. She had got quite used to the frail head on the cotton pillow, the hollowed eyes, the open mouth, and the high-pinched nose. If he'd been dead, she mightn't have noticed for weeks. She wouldn't have minded. But suddenly, he knew he was having the paper read to him by an actress. An actress! The old head lifted. 2 points of light quivered in the old eyes. An actress, are ye? And Miss Brill smoothed the newspaper as though it were the manuscript of her part and said gently, "Yes, I have been an actress for a long time." The band had been having a rest. Now they started again, and what they played was warm, sunny, yet there was just a faint chill. A something, wasn't it? Not sadness. No, not sadness. A something that made you want to sing. The tune lifted. The light shone, and it seemed to Miss Brill that in another moment all of the whole company, would begin singing. The young ones, the laughing ones who were moving together, they would begin, and the men's voices, very resolute and brave, would join them. And then she too, and the others on the benches, they would come in with a kind of accompaniment, something low, that scarcely rose or fell, something so beautiful, moving, and Miss Brill's eyes filled with tears, and she looked smiling at all the other members of the company. "Yes, we understand, she thought. though what they understood she didn't know. Just at that moment, a boy and girl came and sat down where the old couple had been. They were beautifully dressed. They were in love. The hero and heroine, of course, just arrived from his father's yacht, and still soundlessly singing. Still with that trembling smile, Miss Brill prepared to listen. "No, not now," said the girl. "Not here. I can't." "But why? Because of that stupid old thing at the end there?" asked the boy. "Why does she come here at all? Who wants her? Why doesn't she keep her silly old mug at home?" "It's her which is so funny," giggled the girl. "It's exactly like a fried whiting." "Ah, be off with you," said the boy in an angry whisper. Then, "Tell me, ma, petite chair." "No, not here," said the girl. "Not yet." On her way home, she usually bought a slice of honey cake at the baker's. It was her Sunday treat. Sometimes there was an almond in her slice, sometimes not. It made a great difference. If there was an almond, it was like carrying home a tiny present, a surprise, something that might very well not have been there. She heard it on the almond Sundays and struck the match for the kettle in quite a dashing way. But today, she passed the baker's by, climbing the stairs, went into the little dark room, her room like a cupboard, and sat down on the red eiderdown. She sat there for a long time. The box that the fork came out of was on the bed. She unclasped the necklet quickly, without looking, laid it inside. But when she put the lid on, she thought she heard something crying. Miss Brill is a middle-aged woman who spends her days as a teacher for children and as a reader for an old man who hardly recognizes her existence. Every Sunday, she wears her shabby fur coat to the French public park called Jardins Publics. She speaks to the coat as if speaking to another person, an act that becomes the reader's first indication of her true loneliness and alienation. Miss Brill sits in the stands, watching and listening to the band and to the people who sit around her in the stands and play on the grass nearby. All the things she sees and overhears fascinates her, and she is so curious as to eavesdrop on people without them knowing.